Talk to people. Now you're live.
Okay, so people can hear us now?
Oh, yes. You hear
This
you?
is so fancy.
Do you hear you?
I do.
Okay. So remember, click on between you and Rob.
Got it.
All right, guys. Have a good time.
Thanks,
All
Frank.
right. Yeah, Mike will come. Oh, not you know the number? 595-694-53.
595.
Just tell them to search, quite frankly, podcast.
6953.
6953.
Okay.
595.
We just threw this together.
Yep.
Yeah, so what are we going to talk about
I
now that
don't
we're
know.
live on the internet to all of your people here?
We're live on the internet to all of the people.
Mm.
And I just figured,
Oh, that's so weird to see you sitting in there in that chair.
isn't it strange? I'm in Frank's throne.
I know. You know it's burning him right now.
You think so?
I know so.
Really?
Yeah. He's going to get over it, but
Is
definitely.
he upset about this?
No, he's not upset. He's not upset. But but it's a thing.
I feel
I'm loving it,
special.
though. I am loving
He
it. I'm
could've
so
said
glad.
no to this.
He's not going to say no to it. Come on.
I just figured, I'll put you on the screen because you're much more attractive. I just figured that I would, since I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm here, and it just stunk that the whole music thing came up and
Yeah, no, that sucks that he had to go. But
I have to hold this. Hi, everybody. I'm in the studio, the Frank studio from Quite Frankly podcast with Matt. And I keep calling you Matt.
you do every time,
Rob.
Lisa. No
Call me
problem.
whatever you want. It's fine. Don't call me late for dinner. Tell people about yourself because you're so interesting. Like, I love listening to Frank's show on Thursdays because you add this, like, really logical, smart, down-to-earth sort of commentary.
Well, I appreciate all that. I mean, Frank and I have been friends for over 10 years, and he just does this, and he's always asked me to come on and talk because a lot of his shows stem from just conversations where we were just bullshitting about. So it took a long time for me to actually come on the show and talk. I am not a natural at this like Frank is. I mean, he comes from a performing arts background. So,
He's great.
Yeah, oh, yeah, he's awesome.
I really like your dynamic. Obviously, you've been friends for, like, ever.
Right, and I
so
think that's what people pick up on. Like, we're actually friends. It's not like,
it's an awesome
put us together.
It's a great conversation.
Yeah.
It's a great conversation. Everybody, let's see. People are complimenting me. That's always a plus. Someone saying Rob is the everyman if the everyman had a platform. You're the ombudsman.
I'm like yeah, there we go.
You're the ombudsman. So I just figured we would, we've never met in person before.
Never. This is just, yeah. But I like this. This is what I always liked about Frank's thing is that he would just always do it live. And I always respected that, So I think this
some guts.
it takes balls.
I
for
do
sure.
I do live sometimes, and I never edit my videos ever.
Okay.
But because I don't know how. Otherwise I might edit them. But I just I don't know. It's just it takes a lot of guts to sit up here and
Oh, I know, and talk for 2 hours.
and be intelligent about it.
I know. And his show is great.
Of course it is.
So what else are you into, Tracy? What's your?
I like long walks on the beach.
Oh, okay. Well, we could talk about that after. But I meant like, as far as because I mean, on the show we just did with Frank, like Mandela effect came
Yes.
up in the middle of things, and I saw that you were.
I know
you were
a
able-
lot about a lot of things. I just don't talk
So
about a
tell
lot.
me. I know. There's different, platforms, I guess.
Yeah, I know a lot about a lot of things. I do a lot of research on a lot of different things. Mandela effect, those things that come up.
How do you feel about the Mandela effect?
To be quite honest with you, I can't say that I think the Mandela effect isn't a real
Neither
thing.
can I. Neither can I.
I wish I could say
Now,
that.
there's ones where I've heard and I'm like, no, that's absolutely ridiculous. But there's other times and I'm like, well, maybe my memory's off a little bit, But there's other things where it's just like, I don't know. Is there something not right here?
It's too many weird things. Now, granted, a lot of people come up, like some of the things that some people say are a little crazy and not, like they go overboard. With anything, they take the ball and it just rolls down
They
the
run
hill.
with it. Right.
And there's no stopping it. This microphone stand really does bother him. I see why now. I'm just going to move this for a sec so I can tweet this link out as somebody's at. It's okay. Anyway, they go, like anything, it goes a little crazy after a little while, right? So, but I can't say in good faith that I don't think that there's a chance that, I mean, we remember the Berenstain Bears.
That one, absolutely. There was never, ever the Berenstain Bears. I thought that was a joke at first.
I always wanted, like, people went back in time looking for books.
Right.
And they say Stain.
Right.
But of course they say Stain, because if you hop the timeline midway through, everything would retroactively change, right?
Correct. I mean, everything is, you know, if it's an illusion anyway, right? It's a hologram that we're all participating in.
And what's the thought about that? Is this, if you want to get really deep about things and not talk about political corruption for a day,
right? Well, I mean, we had a fill for a little bit, but I mean, it's up to you. But yes, yeah.
What is this? That is it true? Like, people have that theory that this is all Neil deGrasse, not Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is it Neil deGrasse Tyson?
It depends on what you're talking about.
I think he brought forth the theory that this is just a simulation, and that there are millions of them happening at the same time as this.
Infinite timelines, absolutely, absolutely.
Could it be?
I don't think he brought that forward.
He's not that smart.
Well, I'm not saying that. You know, he's a lot smarter than I am. But there's other stuff with him where I just find him, you know, not my cup of tea.
He's not my cup of tea either.
He's a little bit shilly, and he's a little bit obnoxious, you know. So.
Shilly.
Shilly, yeah.
What does that mean?
Like he's shilling for certain things. I mean, I guess I just made that word up.
Shilly is a good word, though. I'm trying to get a definition so I can use it in the future.
Oh, please do. As long as you give me proper credit.
Credit you.
Yeah, just make sure you put the footnote in there.
But what else? Antarctica.
Antarctica. Absolutely, I think that there's something down there. Proof of perhaps civilization is a lot older than we thought. You know, I can almost even go into like Hollow Earth as well from there.
Hollow Earth. That's one I haven't really done a lot of work on.
Okay, all right.
Go for it.
Well, I think that's a interesting thing. I mean, didn't they find like deciduous trees floating down rivers and stuff?
Deciduous.
Yeah. Well, you told me to be smart, you know.
No, but keep going.
Well, that's it. That's all I got.
Really? Because what site are you always on? You're always on like what does it mean?
I don't know what. Like, that's one thing. Like, Frank would always ask me the same things, and I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of click on links and like find stuff, you know. So I go on those like news amalgamators, and I'll go a link to a link to a link, and then here I am. What
made you start doing this? Like when you were younger?
Absolutely.
Like, what was it? You were just curious about? Was it aliens? What were you curious about?
I think more spiritually, you know, spiritual seeking and stuff, and obviously aliens, the whole nine. I mean, I've had unexplainable experiences. Things that I just can't, you know, rationalize away. We actually have it's not on my phone, but I right over here, looking over Long Island, over here at Playland, you know, I've seen stuff that's just
crazy.
And we got video of it.
What do you think, like percentage-wise, government programs to actual extraterrestrial?
Well, the thing that I saw could not, if that, I mean, absolutely, it could be a government thing, but this was like something that was fading in and out of reality. This was beyond. I saw it was like lights in the sky type of thing.
Wow.
And it was like this amorphous blobs that were giving birth to other ones, and then started circling each other.
What color?
Different colors. Initially gold, but then it would flash like red.
And you have video of this?
Yeah, the person I was with took video, but it's a cell phone video. It's from like 7 years ago. Still got the video though. It doesn't do it too much justice. Showed Frank it before.
I think that everybody's seen something crazy that they just can't explain hovering above them in the sky at one point in time.
Right. Also, the other thing that's a little weird about this was that went on that night went on like the UFO sightings thing, and people in the Bronx, which would have been exactly where seeing it, and people in Long Island reported the same exact thing. So it wasn't just and I was with somebody else too. So
yeah. No, I don't think you're crazy.
No, well, might be a little bit, but not about that. The other thing that was weird too, there was another instance where I saw it again, maybe about a year and a half later. And there was no report of this or anything, but the Throgs Neck Bridge just went out.
Really?
All the lights were out. And I was like, where did the bridge go?
That's crazy.
But then I went on and to check, obviously, like, you know, what's going on? Like, was there a power outage? People, and nobody even reported that.
Did somebody? This was at the same time as a sighting?
Absolutely. So it was like the same type of phenomenon, I guess it was.
Huh.
And then the whole bridge went out because I was like trying to get like, all right, well, you know, where exactly is this over? You know, so I was, you know, it's like, okay, I guess that's Queens, but then I was like, where's the bridge? The bridge, and I know that place like the back of my hand.
Yeah, you
so
can see Throgs Neck Whitestone.
absolutely,
right?
yeah, oh, absolutely, and they were, you know, all lit up like they would be. But this
Yeah.
time they were out. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like when I was little, I was looking out my window and I saw what looked like a saucer from my window in the sky, and it was like it went behind the trees, and then I ran downstairs to tell my parents. I told my parents about it. They looked at it. They were like blown away by it too. We jumped in the car, drove around the block to try and like track it, and it turned out that it was one of the very first times they had ever lit up the Goodyear blimp at night.
Really?
And they got like flooded with calls from people calling in this big, you know, saucer looking, because the bottom of it looks like a saucer.
Right,
you know,
right.
The
yeah.
cabin.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Oh.
That's you know, I have some other you know, everybody's got a
Everybody's
story.
got crazy ones. Another one time I was in the car with my mother. I was probably about 5 years old, and we were going to Hershey Park, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's like a vacation. And and I remember this clearly. So it was my mother and I, her friend, and her friend's daughter was the same age as me. Like we were about 5 years old or something, 6 years old. And all I remember is the whole car lit up. It was like a shooting star in the middle of the highway. And I just remember what affected me more about it was my mother and her friend's reaction to it, where they were like, "Oh my God, like what's going on? Like, what is that?"
That's scary.
That was weird. Yeah. I mean,
And
there's
what
other
happened
stuff.
after that? Because if you listen to some of these like stories,
I don't know if there was. I've thought about that, and I've asked my mom. They're gonna say like time missing or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, like she didn't. She wasn't like, no, I don't think so. Because I mean, but she remembers the what I'm speaking about clear as day as well.
wow.
Yeah.
So we have Skype available to us, and this is like something I've never done before, but you want to
Take calls,
from
Tracy.
people?
Come on. Yeah. That's why we're here. We're
Okay.
here to hang out.
All right, let's do it. So I don't know the number. What is it again?
I thought that was your job to
Well,
remember.
I don't have a pen.
Oh, okay. It's 914
914
595.
595.
I want to say 6953 because Frank
Yeah,
always
that's
goes
it.
6953. So I don't. Was the 53 come before the 69?
No. Oh,
right.
someone's calling.
All right. Well, somebody's got it.
It's Mike the Psychic.
Okay. Let's hear him. We're talking about psychic stuff. Let's hear it.
Hey, Mike, you're on.
Hey, that's great. Listen, I've called in before to the program. I have a story very similar to the one Rob was just talking about the lights in the sky, the UFOs.
Excellent.
Some years ago, I was actually in New York, and friends of mine in Bucks County kept calling me, and they said there's been a UFO appearing in our village every night, like around sunset. And I paid no attention. I thought it was silly. Then Friday night, I drove down there to stay in their house, and I was in the kitchen, and everyone said, "Oh, you should come out and see it." And I didn't believe anybody. Then I heard all this shouting outside because the whole town, there's like this little village along the road, and every single family was outside and back watching this thing. So I walked out back. It was in the fall. It was cool weather. And I just said, "Oh, that's nothing. That's just the harvest moon." There was this huge harvest moon above the horizon. But no, it wasn't, because the moon was right next to it. So that what I saw was a big round light, brighter than the moon, much larger than a large harvest moon. Okay, can you hear me?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Mike.
We're just listening.
Yeah, okay. And so I just thought, but it's making no noise. It's just sitting there, and I was just puzzled. I thought, but what is this huge thing? Well, then the next thing happened. It started to move. It moved a little slowly to the right and to the left. Again, think about it. This was bigger than the harvest moon, and I was like looking out over a field. There were no trees. There was nothing in the way. And then the action started. And meanwhile, the whole town is out in their backyards watching this thing, and my friends were all there. Everyone's looking at this thing. Then it started to move, and it moved all over the whole sky. I mean, it just like zoomed. You can't even imagine the speed, because it just went from one end of the sky to the next. It got bigger. It got smaller. Like it went down to a pinprick size, and it got big again.
Wow.
It kind of
Right, that's
zooming
what
in and out.
the thing that I saw
And-
was changing shape as well.
It didn't change shape, but it pulsated.
That's
And
what I
it-
exactly. Yes.
And at the end, when it got smaller, it did change colors.
Mm.
But here's my impression of it. I thought it was so much similar to an insect. Like the patterns it flew was more like a mosquito would fly or a bug. And the fact that it pulsated, I thought it looked like something that was alive, like, in other words, a plasmic being, as opposed to a machine.
Absolutely.
That was just my personal
Wow.
feeling, how it looked. And not only that, again, it had come at the same spot every night for a whole week. That was the last night it came. And then later that night, in another part of Bucks County, there were reports in the newspaper and the local news that the same object or similar objects were zooming all over around, over towards Levittown and that area. And they were like, they were huge. They said one of them was like as big as a football field. This was in the same night. The next night, it was repeated and reported in the local papers and the local TV stations, and then you never heard about it again.
Wow.
And then there were several policemen that tried to chase it down the road, following underneath. They got hundreds of phone calls, and this huge thing that was flying overhead broke the tops of trees. I mean, it like came down on them, sort of, so to speak. Didn't touch the ground. So it was really wild, and this was years and years ago. So now I'll finish the story real quick with another angle. So I was studying with Tibetan Buddhist monks.
That's
And
some
so
experience.
and I learned to speak Tibetan. Okay?
Really?
So I went to my monk friend, and I told him the story, I described it, and I said, "Did you ever see anything like this in Tibet?" And one monk said, "Oh, sure, we see this stuff whenever there's a holy man praying somewhere." Then I asked another monk the same question, and he said, "Yeah, we see that whenever there's somebody doing witchcraft." Two
Okay.
opposite stories.
Yeah.
But both monks had said, "Yeah, we've seen stuff like that in Tibet." So there you go.
Wow.
But that really
Wow.
happened. That really happened. And it was in the local papers, it was in local news, just for one day only,
Crazy.
But it was beautiful. It was like this big natural experience.
Hey.
Yeah.
And it was very much like Rob's story, very similar, except it was one huge ball, but it zoomed all over the sky, all over. Oh, and by the way, when it was zooming around, all of these private airplanes came out, because out in that area in Bucks County in the countryside in the farming area, there's a lot of private planes and people's farms and stuff. The sky was crawling with airplanes because it was out there for a good half an hour zooming around, not just for a minute.
Yeah.
And there were also some military type jets. But see, it was interesting to compare them, because when they moved in the sky, they were crawling like so slowly compared to this big round object.
Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
your story.
Thanks, Mike. That's interesting.
It's a real thing. I'm not telling you the truth. It was. I'll never forget it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget either. I mean, I don't know if Murph, he's in Frank's chat room. I don't know if he came over here, but he was with me too, so he could corroborate the story. But you'll see him in Frank's chat. You could ask. The other thing that I felt that was really weird about it was that, I mean, the whole thing was strange, but as it was like undulating, and when you say plasma, that's the word that strikes me as yes. I also felt that it was almost responsive to how I was feeling, where like I had like an initial charge and it would expand greatly, and I really felt like it was like
Wow.
tuned in. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I meant by I thought it was alive.
Yes.
You see, I really thought it was like a being rather than a machine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Isn't
to
that interesting?
Yeah.
It is.
But you see, I think what we have here is whatever we experience is not from a government program. It's not a machine. And I think this is something that any ancient civilization, they saw these also. So American Indians, Peru, India, Tibet. I'm sure all the ancient cultures must have seen these things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Mike the Psychic, thanks for calling. I'm going to say goodbye for now because there's other
Thank you so much.
people,
And
but that's a crazy story.
It's so great to talk to you. I love your both Frank's broadcast, but yours also.
Thanks.
You're absolutely amazing. You're going to be very, very famous very soon. You're
Oh,
just
gosh,
awesome
really?
and
She's
incredible.
already famous.
I'm
Come
not
on.
famous.
I'm you kidding?
Lovely,
I'm
lovely.
starstruck
and
here,
such a
Tracy.
lovely person too. So
Thank you
for
so much,
for
Mike.
what you do.
My gosh, now I'm scared.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Talk to you
Thanks,
later.
Mike. Take care.
That's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
going to answer this 317 call, but that's kind of scary, right?
That's good. That's good. Let's keep it moving.
317, I don't know who you are, but you're live.
Hi, Tracy. It's Jeremy.
Oh, hey.
So you
Hey,
do know it.
I just called in to talk to you about the last video you put out about the 2703D or the third. I think it's a 3123.
The PSEU one?
Yeah, the PSEU one.
Yes.
It is referenced in the IG reports in the bottom of page 79 and the top of page 80, and also in the footnotes.
In the mid-year exam IG report.
That's right. It is referencing the mid-year exam. The text messages about the PSEU.
What do they say about
That's what-
them?
What's that?
What do they say? Because I read through those pages. I don't remember that for some reason.
Yeah, at the bottom of page 79, he's talking about the 2703D that they were filing, and it didn't reference a date. But in the footnotes, it referenced that the conclusion of that was that they found that the only person that still had classified information was that Corbetta guy.
Combata?
And Combetta. And that the date was early June of 2016 or 17. I can't remember, but it's in the footnotes.
So are you saying that they said that they subpoenaed not a
Yes, they subpoenaed. I don't think they subpoenaed a person from the media specifically. I think they were subpoenaing the database because it also involves electronic communications.
That's interesting. I'm going to definitely have to look into that because that was one theory that I had that I was very strongly leaning towards. But
Yep.
the Combetta theory, he didn't fit the rest of the criteria listed in that manual.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was kind of a dupe.
Interesting. Well, thanks for that. This is why
Yeah,
people
have
are
a great
amazing.
night, guys.
Absolutely.
Have a great night. Thanks for calling in.
Uh-huh. Bye.
I need to learn how to do Skype on my channel.
Definitely. That'd be great for you. You know?
I really am always in awe of how intelligent our community is.
I know.
Everybody is so smart. Everybody cares so much.
And you look at that disaster we watched today and how embarrassing that was.
Because I think
And these are our elected leaders.
I know, and I think that
Meanwhile,
it was yeah.
you know, we're sitting here.
I know. I think it was embarrassing because we know so much more than they think we do.
Right. Right.
I think if we did like a poll of the people who are watching, how many of them watched that or plan to watch it or know what was even going on, everybody would raise their hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we could take another call because we have what? Like 15 more minutes?
We got plenty of time.
Okay, cool.
Keep them going.
I don't remember the number that I gave out.
They put it up in the chat.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The chat people.
914-595-6953. I'm hoping that's right. Let me scroll back here.
Oh my
I
gosh.
should know.
It says here the latest version of Skype is ready to install. It won't take long to upgrade. Frank
Do
would
that.
probably-
Upgrade
No
everything. Yes. Do
way.
it. Tracy, you have my permission.
No,
you have
I
my
would
permission.
never
It's
do
fine.
that to him. After
Do
knowing
it.
what he went through with Skype, can you imagine?
Oh,
Can you imagine if I
would- it would
upgraded
be
Frank's Skype?
Yeah. And then just on the way out, just interrupt the band practice and just be like, yo, by the way.
I helped you. I upgraded.
Yeah, I just
right.
updated all your software.
Okay, the first call that came in was 541, and then Brian, hang on, we'll bring you back in a second. Hey, 541. Oh, you have to shut
yeah,
the show
shut,
off.
please. Yeah.
Hi, Tracy. This is Lenny Time.
Hi, Lenny.
Yeah, great show tonight. It's good to see you at Frank's desk.
Isn't that great?
It's nice to have a pretty.
Oh,
Yeah, it really is.
thank you.
For the Mandela effect, could there be two timelines where the majority of people's point of view dictate which timeline they're on? And there's enough people who grew up who were older and had a set way of doing things, and as they passed on, now we have it so that much younger people form the common belief, and so that history has changed because we believe it differently from what they lived.
Well, that's interesting.
That's interesting, but wouldn't that have, constantly been going on? Or is it just because of the connectivity with information and everything that we're only becoming aware of this? I mean,
Well,
I tend to believe that there are like an amalgamation of certain timelines that are, I guess, coalescing at this point.
Like collective
I
consciousness?
think timelines come in and go out.
Huh.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last
I think
part.
everybody. I think timelines come in and go out. That everybody has a personal timeline, and if they coincide, it establishes a group timeline.
Gotcha.
But if you don't buy into it, you can have a timeline that isn't synced with anyone else's timeline. And so we're very powerful. We can create the timelines as we go. But I think this is something new that's happened since December 21st, 2012.
Okay.
And that something happened that changed our capabilities, a growth of the species, so to speak.
Interesting.
Yes, I agree. More like a restoration of the species. I kind of think that we were on a de-evolution spiral for a little while, and now things are going back up the way they're supposed to.
The right way.
Yeah.
The right way. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
Certainly. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good
Thanks.
night. So many people have so many amazing things.
I know.
I couldn't even wrap my head around that in the very beginning. I'm not used to thinking about stuff like this.
Oh.
Somebody must have just joined the stream and said, hold on, what's going on here? Tracy's at Frank's desk. Can someone clue me in?
Yeah. You're talking about collective consciousness and timeline
Totally
crashing
weird.
in Frank's chair. Do you think he's thinking about it right now? Like he's playing the drums?
Probably worried.
They're like mad at him because he's screwing up.
I know. He was so gracious to let
Absolutely.
me sit here tonight. But I know he's got to be like, she's going to push a button. She's going to screw something up. She's going to upgrade my Skype. I hope she doesn't upgrade my Skype.
Oh, just do it, Tracy. Just do it.
I'm not doing it.
I know. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it would be funny though.
No, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah, I take enjoyment in these type of things.
I know, but honestly, he cursed
Awkward.
about that Skype
Oh, I know.
for weeks, every night.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a caller. That's
Nice.
a good thing. Brian is calling. Brian
Nice.
O'Connor.
Oh, Gadget Doc.
Oh, hey. Hey, you.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
What's up, Gadget
Hi,
Doc?
Yeah, I didn't feel like talking about anything too serious today, so I'm going to share a few UFO stories and what I think caused the Mandela effect. So, first off, I saw a UFO, the triangle type, in 2007. And for Rob, you know this, my background was in aviation in the Army and intelligence. I'd never seen anything like that. I was actually doing security work on Fort Bragg when that flew over. Now, the aircraft, or the unidentified flying object, if you will, was triangular in shape, did not give a sound. And it sounded like it didn't give off any sound either. It was like it was floating. And it was approximately 50 feet above me. So from the ground to in the air about 50 feet, you could get a really good view of it, and it didn't make any noise. That was my UFO. A few days later, I was guarding a different location, and there happened to be a civilian helicopter on the base flying extremely low, so low that I could read the civilian registration on it.
Wow.
And I mean, we're talking power line low. So I actually called over to the control tower because that's weird behavior, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're just checking the power lines," because the first person at the tower was like, "You can read their registration." I was like, "Yeah," and I read the entire registration number to them.
Wow.
And then I got put on the phone with somebody else, and they're like, "Yeah, they're just checking the power lines." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." In other words, I need to shut up and not ask any more questions. So that's my UFO story. Though I did meet somebody that had a similar experience to yours, Rob, and she saw it in Milton Keynes, England.
Okay.
And she also said that it kind of had a, I guess, as you would say, tuned in vibe to it, that it was telepathic in
Yes.
nature.
Yeah.
And before it departed, it actually kind of generated its own cloud. And she's actually made some artwork for it. So I want to kind of throw that in there, that's that unidentified sphere that almost looks like, what is it, Greek lightning, happened outside of the United States. So I'm throwing that out there. Now, very quickly to the Mandela effect, I think that has to do with the curse of Tippecanoe. You're familiar with this, right?
Tippecanoe?
And Tyler too.
Yeah.
Did you say Tippecanoe?
Yeah, the curse of Tippecanoe is that every white father, American president, would die every 20 years.
Wait.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is this gadget? Go on again.
That every 20 years,
Mhm.
that every white, it's the curse of Geronimo, if you will, that every white father, every American president would die 20 years after every 20 years. It's the curse of the presidents, or Tecumseh's curse.
And this is proved. This has been following suit.
It's been following suit up until Ronald Reagan,
Okay.
1981.
Is that what?
Oh, so that's when he did the assassination attempt.
Correct. Reagan was supposed to be the white father that broke it. And our timeline shifted again in 1983. So we were on the precipice of nuclear war in that year. We were very close. And right now, I think with the emergence of Trump, we're resetting the timeline. That we're going back to the, and it's not a bad timeline. It's a good timeline. But now we're entering into a time of greater peace and understanding.
Well, I like that.
Absolutely.
And we're also moving into a period where we're actually dealing with justice. Not what is legal, what is just, what is right. And that's kind of what's being turned on its head.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks. That's awesome. And I need to talk to you more, mister, by the way, at another time.
Yeah, Frank's got all my personal details.
Yeah.
Just get it. And
As soon as I finish upgrading Skype here, I'll be able to.
That's not a
well,
problem, right?
He's got my cell. You can just tell him you're okay to pick up my cell. And
That's
we'll talk.
perfect. Awesome. Thank you for that.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Take care, Gadget.
So what's the deal? Frank just meandered back in. Are we cutting now, or are we done?
Oh, well, you got a minute and a half.
We have a minute and
Minute and a half.
Let's say our goodbyes, because
Yes.
this was a lot of fun.
Impromptu live broadcast.
Yeah, this was fun,
Yeah.
right? It was great talking to you about UFOs and stuff on my channel.
Yeah, it was great. I know that your channel doesn't usually.
Never.
Yeah, but I kind of have that weird vibe about me, so it just happens. I wasn't planning on it.
It's okay. You know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes we got to go outside of our comfort zone and talk about things that we don't normally talk about.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I don't know how to do anything but click back and forth between cameras, so I'm going to leave this here, and Frank's going to shut it off.
Hey, you know what you do? Just put that up.
Oh, Oh.
And then you say your bye, and then you just mute all those microphones over there, and then we'll take care of the rest.
If you guys appreciate what I do and you'd like to become a patron, you can find me on patreon.com/TracyBeans with a Z. It would be greatly appreciated. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.